We are recording.
We are recording. Okay, thank you very much, everyone. If we can, we'll call the meeting to order at 5:32 p.m. If we could all stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Kristen Anne Marie.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right. Thank you very much, everyone. Kristen and Maria, I'm glad you both got through that okay. All right. So item number 3 is public comments. I don't believe we have any public on the line. Roy, did we receive any public comment emailed in?
We did not.
We did not. Okay. All right, so we'll move on to item number 4, which is resolution to authorize, issue, and sell general obligation refunding bonds. Joining us on the call tonight is John Healy, as you all know, our underwriter, and Matt Ritter, who is one of our 2 bond counsels. So I'm going to turn everything over to John. Initially, he's going to give a quick little 5-minute presentation. We'll give an update on some numbers. Matt may add a few little legal twists that you can answer any questions, and then we'll move forward. So John, I'll turn this over to you.
Thank you very much, Mr. First Selectman. And thank you everyone for taking time out of your Friday night to get on to this Zoom meeting. The long and the short of it is we were, as you all know, we were supposed to be executing a bond transaction for the town of Seymour back on March 9th. And well, just so happened that on March 9th and March 10th that the market melted down as coronavirus took hold, and we wound up putting the transaction on hold. We have since delayed pricing until now in order to find an optimal market in order to get the transaction done. At the time we were operating, part of the transaction was about 5.8 million in new money that you had authorized, or that the citizens of Seymour had authorized, and that you had given us authorization to go out and sell in order to finance the telecommunications upgrades and the road program. Because of the delay, what has happened is that a transaction or bonds that had been issued back in 2010 became currently callable as of May 1st. And when bonds become currently callable, it means that we can refund them at a very, very high efficiency in order to generate savings for the town. This is as opposed to what is more commonly referred to as an advance refunding, where you know, you're more susceptible to market conditions. This is a current refunding, so it is a very, very advantageous thing to do to refund these for the town at this point. And we believe that under these conditions that we're going to be pricing into next week, it should net the town about $300,000 in net present value savings. So we would like to undertake this. And in order to do that, we need to receive an expansion of the authorization from the Board of Selectmen in order to be able to sell those bonds. Right now, the authorization that we were working under was for about 6.4 million. The bonds that we are looking to refund are about 3.9 million. So we have requested additional latitude in the authorization in order to be able to capture that savings for you. So that's why we're here tonight. And Matt, do you want to add any additional color?
Yeah, the only question that came in that I think is worth answering, at least when talking with the finance team here at the town, was why just Board of Selectmen? And you guys have done these before, but remember, the statute normally to issue bonds is different than refunding bonds. Refunding bonds save the town money, right? Net present value savings is the term that is used in the statute. So under 7-370C, the Board of Selectmen can unilaterally authorize it. There's no additional steps either under the Board of Finance or a town charter. It overrides all that because they want you to be able to do deals like this quickly if there's savings to be had. So that's why it's just the Board of Selectmen voting tonight and nobody else.
Okay.
John, if you could, real quick, because I haven't shared it yet with the board. You just talked about the rating with S&P. that we received just the beginning of this week?
Sure. As everyone knows, for the past 6 years, the town has enjoyed a AA plus rating from Standard & Poor's, one step below AAA, among the highest grade credits you can have. And certainly everyone on this call and on this board knows how hard it is to maintain that. And I know that that's been part and parcel of a lot of the financial decisions that you all have made to put Seymour where it is today. Because of the delay in the transaction, as you know, we received a rating of AA plus stable back in February, late February, February 26th. Because we've had to delay the transaction so long, plus the fact that we have been going through and continue to be going through one of the most unique crises of our lifetimes and even beyond, that has created a material change. And so S&P wanted to refresh or take a fresh look at Seymour before we priced again. So a week and a half ago, your team, led by First Selectman Miller, along with Doug Thomas, Tony Caserta, and Roy Burke, and myself, got back on the phone with Standard & Poor's, took them through not only where the town is and where you're looking to finish this fiscal year, but also what you're projecting for fiscal 21, and all the steps that you guys have taken, will take, to protect the people of Seymour, both personally, economically, and health-wise, in the face of this pandemic. Took them through all that, and they came back this week and reaffirmed the town as a AA plus credit. The one change, though, is that they have changed the outlook to negative, and they very explicitly state that that negative outlook is due solely to the external economic factors that are encumbering New Haven County and the state of Connecticut. Most importantly, unemployment and projected fallout from that unemployment, both now and into the new fiscal year. Certainly, should Seymour, come back for a rating a month or 2 months, a year, 2 years from now, I fully expect that stable outlook to be returned. But for now, that is what they are hanging on most credits. Frankly, a lot of other credits have been downgraded. They did not downgrade the town. They affirmed you as AA plus, but they put that caveat in there that obviously New Haven County is very challenged, and they expect the state of Connecticut to face similar challenges going forward. So congratulations on being affirmed AA plus.
Thank you, John. So I just wanted him to go over quickly so the board is aware of where we stand. So does anybody have any specific questions on the transaction or the reason why we're doing it? So I know this is all very quick. This has all come together in about 48 hours. So I wanted to make sure both John and Matt were here to answer your questions. Rob has his hand up, so Rob, why don't you kick it off?
Yeah, two
Rob
things.
still has his hand up. Oh, there he goes. Go ahead, Rob.
Two questions. One, I saw the first time this came up, it was 6.5, not to exceed 6.5 million. And then this most recent one was 6 million. So I was wondering why that changed. And then just to clarify, you were asking from Mr. Healy, you were asking for a little more. You mentioned the two numbers. 9 million was the second number. Are we talking about increasing past the 6 to have that, or that's all part and parcel of the same thing?
So, and I'll let Matt comment on the precise nature of the language, but the existing authorization was 6.4, 6.5 million. And under that, we were issuing up to 1.4 million for the emergency telecommunication system upgrades, and then 3.5 million for the roads. I believe that's correct. So that would run us up to the amount of that authorization, which you had already given us. What we need is additional authorization in order to issue around 3.9 million in refunding bonds to current refund those 2010Bs that are now currently refundable. So we are asking for, I believe, an additional 6 million. So it's adding 6 million to the existing authorization, I believe. Is that correct, Matt?
Yes, just the existing authorization for the 6 million was for refunding bonds specifically. And so you guys did approve that. You need more authorization. So we're going to limit you to what you have authorized. And so what John is saying is under the current structure of the deal that they were pricing in March, you were doing, I believe, refunding bonds around 5.7 million, John, or something like that. And then more bonds came in the money, so to speak, which could save the town money. That's about 4 million. So we're asking you to authorize an additional 6. So you'd be doing, under the current transaction as price, the town's issuing around 10 million of refunding bonds. So it's 6.5 plus 6. So if the question is, why are we doing 12? We just wanted to build in some wiggle room. You never know where the market could go over the weekend. And I think you guys would agree, we didn't want you to have to come back and vote for an extra $1 million. So we're giving you a little more authorization. It doesn't hurt you to do that. It doesn't count against your debt limitation schedule under state statute. But so it's 6.5 plus 6 to get to 12.5.
That's what I want to make sure of, was that this wasn't changing one number. It was in a completely different addition.
Yep. So it's 2 separate resolutions to get us to the total amount that the town needs.
Okay.
And just to be clear again, this is not adding any net new debt to the town. In fact, it's reducing it and generating that 300,000 plus in savings.
Yeah, there's a statute, guys. It's 7 dash, I want to say 374 off the top of my head. And we do have statutory limitations on how much debt you can issue for schools, public, sewer projects, general purposes projects. The state does limit you. Refunding bonds are always excluded. And the reason behind that is the same reason why you can vote to do this tonight without a Board of Finance or any other process. The state is encouraging municipalities to save money when they can. And that's why refunding bonds do not count against your debt cap.
Good, Rob? Okay. Any other questions, comments, thoughts? Everybody's
Kurt.
Chris, go ahead.
Forgive me if I missed something earlier. Have we heard any input from Bill Sawicki on this? Does he have any input to give? I apologize.
Who was that? Bill's 100% on board.
Okay.
Any other comments or thoughts? No, everybody's good. Okay, so then with that, and Matt, let me know if this motion is sufficient. I'll entertain a motion to approve the resolution to authorize, issue, and sell general obligation refunding bonds as presented by Town Bond Counsel Matt Ritter. That was in the packet for the meeting of Friday, May 22nd, 2020.
So moved, Al Bruno.
Trish.
Okay, so motion by Al, second by Trish, assuming Matt had no issue with the motion.
Oh, it was fine, Mr. First Selectman.
He's shaking his head. So are there any additional questions?
No.
Okay, you're not all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, everybody else is nodding their head yes. Anyone opposed? No abstentions. Chair votes aye. Motion carries 7-0. Thank you very much, everyone. All right. Item number 5, public comment. Rory, has any public comment or any public joined us?
No, they have not.
Okay. So with that, we will move on to item number 6. Can I have a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Motion sung by Chris, seconded by Marie. Is there any discussion?
Second.
Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? Chair votes aye. Motion passes 7-0. Mark meeting closed at 5:46 p.m.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for your time, everybody. Have a great long weekend. Rich, Matt.